I feel like you guys need to hear this because this is, while people are gender warring and talking a lot of shit online, we have people that are trying to fight for your water supply. These data centers, the people that own a lot of these data centers don't even live in this country, in the United States. Peter Thiel is now in, I think, Argentina. Is that right? And Mr. Wonderful from the Shark Tank, who wants to build a huge one in Colorado, he lives in Canada. So let's listen to this.
As a resident, I fear that our water loss will lead to a catastrophe.
A 5-year-long drought has depleted the city's main water reserves to historic lows.
Let me start from the beginning.
In city to run out of water, situated along the Texas coast, the 317,000 residents of Corpus Christi are staring down a crisis.
As a resident, I fear that our water loss will lead to a catastrophe.
A 5-year-long drought has depleted the city's main water reserves to historic lows, so low that officials have warned emergency restrictions may be needed to prevent demand from outpacing supply. But some local officials and residents say the impending crisis may have been preventable.
I believe in my heart that this is not the residents' fault that we're in this drought. I mean, I know Mother Nature did her part, but the refineries is the one who's taking all of our water.
Corpus Christi's port is the largest energy export site in the U.S. and a major hub for steel production, industries that rely on tons of water for...
This is a thing about government, too. So when you have corrupt government that doesn't have any kind of EPA or doesn't fund anything like the EPA and protections for the people and the citizens and stuff, this is what you get. When you have somebody that said they wanted to drain the swamp, but instead of draining the swamp, created a huger swamp for swamp monsters to exist in, this is what you get. This is corruption. This is complete corruption with no regards for wildlife, no regards for humanity or the citizens or anybody. When you have town hall meetings and the Republicans right now that are in a power position over the United States and have been for the last 2 years solidly, and they have done no protections and don't even give a shit. And when their constituents tell them that they have a problem with data centers and they have a problem with what's going on with water shortages or contaminated water and water that is not beneficial to them for life, and these Republicans just disregard. And I'm not saying that Democrats won't do it too, because there's corrupt Democrats as well. But when you have a governing system that just don't give a shit and creates or cancels out any protections for people and won't fund them and won't pay for the protections, this is what you're getting. Droughts. And the people that are benefiting, that have put millions and billions of dollars in the pockets of these representatives, on the sly and on the low, they're not even in this country. So they could care less what happens to this country. And while we're sitting here talking about how we want to leave the atmosphere and go to different planets, other planets that are in our solar system have already been lived on, and they've done this to that type of mindset. The people have done this, beings have done this on other planets, destroying the planets. And when you don't care about the water supply, which is the most important to humanity, because without the water supply, you have no animals, you have no food, no livestock, no vegetables, no fruits, no nothing to eat. And we are made up of over 75 to 80 to 90% water. And you need water to sustain your life. This is what we're headed for. It's super serious.
Cooling, refining, and manufacturing. In Corpus Christi, just 12 companies use around 55% of the city's water, according to city officials. Meanwhile, residents have had their water use restricted, and the city has promoted conservation efforts, including selling rain barrels to residents to collect their own water.
I went out and got them.
You know what's so crazy is that in Oregon, there was a time when people were doing rain catchment in Northern California. I think it was Oregon. If I'm not, don't quote me. This has been a long time that this information that I remember, but they were getting citations for collecting rainwater. I think also in California, they were getting citations for collecting rainwater to water their gardens and things like that. So now they're pushing this in Texas.
After we had the first storm, because I saw all the water was coming off. So I have turf front and back. It's just a tiny bit, but then of course, if everybody's doing it, it's not a tiny bit anymore.
So that's 4 55-gallon, and then 2 of the city barrels that are 50 gallons each. So I've got about 300 gallons.
I conserve water by allotting myself just a few moments for a shower and just doing what everyone else is doing, not watering your lawn and that sort of stuff.
By fall of 2027, each household is expected to need to cut down even further to just 6,000 gallons per household per month.
They're trying to cut back as much as they can already, and for them to cut back even more, it's going to be hard.
One solution under consideration is a nearly $1 billion desalination plant that would turn seawater into fresh water. It's a plan backed by the state's Governor Greg Abbott and local industry leaders. But environmental concerns and rising costs have slowed the planning process.
We are saying no more. The people of Corpus Christi are saying no more.
Corpus Christi is not running out of water. The refineries are running out of water. We, as a community, are going to be okay.
You know, we have to look for alternative water sources to water our plants. Why don't they have to look for alternative water sources to run their operations?
The cup parts come up.
For now, recent rain and the start of the hurricane season has bought Corpus Christi some time. But residents, officials, and industry leaders still face the same question. Who gets the water when there isn't enough to go around? And as droughts become more severe, and as housing and data center expansion drive demand for water, Corpus Christi may offer a glimpse of challenges other Americans could soon face. Could this be the first modern American city to run?
So these data centers use massive amounts of water, and then once the water that they have used is contaminated, they push the contaminated water back onto the citizens. This is where we're headed. This is what we have right now. This is what we have, and you can't rely on this Republican Party. I'm sorry, you can't rely on them to do the right thing. They have no foresight. Their leadership is garbage. It's a selfish leadership. It doesn't benefit the people. That's where we're at right now.